episode of A Moment of Tiki, coming to you from the Lagoon of Mystery, my home tiki bar here in Central Texas. And as we get started tonight, I want to begin by wishing everyone out there a Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, and a joyous Kwanzaa, Yule, and Festivus for the rest of us. As many of you longtime viewers out there, by many I mean all 6 of you, know this is the time of year where I become possessed by the spirit of giving. And I want to give you out there a chance, not just 1, not just 2, but 3 chances to win a custom tiki ornament carved by yours truly. This year, I was inspired by the artistry and carving art of the Cook Islanders, the island of Rarotonga, and their fisherman god. I drew inspiration from this, and if you follow along the video, I show you how I carve these ornaments using a Dremel. Plain and simple, use a Dremel. If that's all you're interested in is winning an ornament, then you can skip to the end of the video, or you can just go down to the instructions below and follow those. No judgment. But if you want to see what goes into creating one of these suckers, then let's follow along and I will see you on the other side. Now, I didn't initially intend to just do a ornament carving video for y'all this year. I meant to do a full-size tiki carving and do a companion ornament piece like I did last year with the Trader Mort's ornament. Now, unfortunately, I had a little bit of an accident, unfortunate run-in with an infected cut. Nothing to do with woodworking or tiki in any manner, but I ended up in the hospital for a couple of days with IV antibiotics, and I lost an entire week. My arm still isn't fully back to strength, so I can't manage the big tiki work. There was no way I was going to be able to get it finished, plus doing ornaments, and so I scuttled that approach. Maybe I will revisit it in a future Moment of Tiki episode, but I am, never fear, doing the annual holiday ornament carve. So, as usual, I am taking a 3.5 inch roughly piece of ash juniper, which grows wild around here, very plentiful. It's known as mountain cedar. It's quite aromatic, not unlike cedar, which is where it gets its name. And I'm just taking a carving knife and whittling off the bark. Once I get the bark off, then I take the ensuing clean piece and run it on the power sander, not a burst of power tools whatsoever, and sand it down smooth, getting any of the remaining imperfections off. Use a Dremel to grind off any knot holes or little twigs or branches sticking out. And what I am left with is this, the ornament blank. I used a sander to round off the top for the head. And the ornament, the tiki that I am taking inspiration from this year is the traditional Cook Islands fisherman. I printed out a number of photos that I found online. This is fairly iconic, and I've been wanting to do one of these for a while, and I greatly respect the artistry and the design elements of the Rarotonga people of the Cook Islands, and I greatly admire this tiki design. It's very simple, but it's got a lot of room for ornamentation, so that is what I'm going to attempt this year. And as usual, I take a pencil, referencing my reference photos, and draw some cut guides for me to come back and, power carve away. And I also like to do longitudinal and latitudinal lines. These blanks are not perfectly round. They are in cross section more oval. So I want to keep it front to back consistency so I don't end up with a lopsided carve. I've got a round ball high-speed cutter, just the basic Dremel bit that you can get. Got my breathing mask, N95 for protection. You don't want the fine sawdust getting into your lungs. And glasses for eye protection. Yeah, this isn't OSHA approved, but I've never had the Dremel throw up splinters or anything like that, so this should be sufficient, and it helps me see better. Now, when I'm cutting, I don't want to go too deep on this, try to force or take off too much wood at one go. I do a shallow pass, which allows me greater control for the detail to stay close to my line. And once I have that shallow channel in there, I come back and do multiple passes to get it deeper and deeper and deeper. And once I have a cleft carved into the wood that is substantive and going to help contain my spinning burr so the torque doesn't pull me off to the side and gouge out something that I don't want, then I can start bearing down a little harder and hogging out more material. But with a smaller ornament like this, it's not really that necessary to hog out a lot because you're not starting off with a whole lot of material to begin with. All right, so now I'm going to work on the face. So I'm going to redraw the center line, and from that, the mouth. Then I'm doing the eyes, which are similar to the mouth. Kind of an almond shape to them. With my carving complete, I need to torch it to get rid of the burrs and little hairs and fuzzies that come with it. So I've got my torch, I'm gonna light it up. Going to dial back the flame because I don't need a very powerful flame for such a small ornament. And we're going to roast him. Okay, I think we're good. We're ready to move on to the next step. Now, I don't want the shushugiban effect here. This is a little darker than I want. So what I'm going to do is come back with this abrasive wheel. It's a buffer attachment for the Dremel. I'm setting the rotations per minute on a lower setting, like 8,000 or whatever. And I'm going to go over it, and it's going to remove some of the darker carbon scoring on here. So. Now that the figure has been torched and buffed down, I'm going to start to apply the finish. Like I always do, I'm going to go with boiled linseed oil. This will penetrate and then form a solid film on the surface, so it protects it inside and out. It's nice and durable, particularly for an ornament that will be inside. It gives it a nice, rich color. As it seeps in, I'm going to let it sit for several days, up to a week, to let the linseed oil cure, at which point I will come back with the de-waxed shellac for the top coat. Those of you who have watched me do this in the past, pretty familiar with the process by now, I would think. Now we come to the process where I take the ornament after it is cured. It's been about, what, 5-6 days. So the boiled linseed oil has fully cured on here, and I coat it with a layer of de-waxed shellac. And the de-waxed shellac acts as a top coat. It's kind of a satin, not quite glossy, but it's got a little shine to it. And de-waxed shellac, as opposed to waxed shellac, will allow me to apply paint or another type of top coat over the top. Whereas regular shellac, the wax inherent in it could interfere with the adhesion. Now we like shellac as a top coat or a intermediate coat, intermediary, because shellac will almost literally stick to anything. So any type of finish you have, the boiled linseed oil or tung oil or something else like that, the shellac will adhere and give you a good substrate for your final top coat, or it'll work as its own top coat. Now it's the next day, and the de-waxed shellac top layer has dried on here, so I can do the final touch is adding a spot of color to the holly and the berries. I've got my acrylic paint over here, got the red and the green, using separate brushes because I have separate brushes, and it makes it easier, and I'm just dabbing it right on top of the berries to start with the red, and then the holly with the green. And it's easy to get the paint in the right place since these are all carved out and raised up in relief. And we're back. Thank you for sticking around to the end, and as promised, this is how you can win your very own ornament at no cost to you. First of all, like the video. Second of all, subscribe and hit the bell, okay? If you don't hit the bell, YouTube is not going to notify you when I post new videos. So, you know, what's good at subscribing? That's what I want to know. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not a multimillionaire that runs a YouTube channel. So, regardless, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, okay? And that's all you have to do to enter, except one thing. I'm going to leave my email down in the show notes below, okay? Send me an email letting me know what name you commented under. Okay, I can't tell you folks, every single year I've done this, somebody has won and left me no way to get in touch with them afterwards. They don't come back and check for the winners or anything like that. So, what you gonna do? So anyway, like, subscribe, click that bell, leave a comment below, and email me letting me know what name you commented under in the comments. And then entries close at 11:59, December 23rd. Christmas Eve, I will announce the winners here November 24th. They'll be listed right there. Okay, the winners for the YouTube. But you can also enter to win by going to my Instagram page, which I will have a link below. Similar rules right there. The third way to win is go to my YouTube group, A Moment of Tiki, linked below. Enter there. So that's 1, 2, 3 chances. One on Facebook, one on Instagram, and one right here on the YouTubes. What more could you ask? Holiday cheer for everyone. Get your own little holiday ornament right here with the holly and berries. I mean, what more could anyone want? So, good luck all of you, and until next time from the Lagoon of Mystery, aloha.